Next, as I said earlier, a number of organizations have very generously helped co-sponsor this event. One that has been with us for several years and is put on DC Days is Beyond Nuclear. And as part of the DC Days award reception, Beyond Nuclear has chosen to present its award to a person from the reactor side, nuclear power side, who has done similar work and stopped similarly insane programs. So I want Kevin Kamps to come up to, looking back there, Kevin, you're right up here. Kevin Kamps to present the Judith Johnswood Unsung Hero Award.
Good evening, everyone. Terry Lodge is an environmental attorney based in Toledo. Shortly after passing the bar in 1979, he filed papers opposing the restart of the infamous Davis-Besse atomic reactor in the aftermath of the meltdown at the twin-designed 3 Mile Island Unit Number 2. Davis-Besse has gone on to experience more close calls with catastrophe than any other reactor. Terry helped lead the intervention against Davis-Besse's 2017 to 2037 license extension by the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and continues to speak out against First Energy's desperate bailout request to the Trump administration for $8 billion per year, with a B, to prop up its failing reactor fleet at public expense. But Terry also fights new reactors, such as the proposed Fermi Unit 3, for over a decade, all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. And he resists nuclear weapons and war. It was Terry's environmental law intervention silver bullet that in 2006 stopped the Divine Strait blast at the Nevada test site. And Terry has provided cutting-edge legal leadership in resisting such crossover and cross-border risks as the weapons-grade plutonium, mixed oxide, lean test assembly, truck and air shipment from Los Alamos to Chalk River, Ontario in 1999, MOX. And beginning in 2013, resistance to the unprecedented high-risk transport of highly radioactive liquid wastes from Chalk River to Savannah Riverside, a thinly veiled effort to keep DOE's last remaining reprocessing capability on life support. The Unsung Hero Award is named after Beyond Nuclear founding board member, Dr. Judith H. Johnsrud, who passed on in 2014 after a half-century of anti-nuclear power and anti-nuclear weapons grassroots leadership. With characteristic humility, she responded to her 2012 Sierra Club Lifetime Achievement Award, "But I don't deserve it." The criteria for this award include dedication, hard work, self-sacrifice, determination, fearless spirit when confronted with challenges and setbacks, being unsung. And humbleness seems to have been added by each of the 5 awardees themselves, now including Terry, and with us tonight Dave Kraft from Nuclear Energy Information Service in Nevada, and our inaugural recipient, from Nuclear Information and Research Service. On behalf of Beyond Nuclear's board and staff, and Paul and Linda Gunter, my coworkers are here as well as the Alliance for Nuclear Accountability, I'm honored and privileged to present the Dr. Judith H. Johnsrud Unsung Hero Award to Terry J. Lodge for tireless dedication and dogged determination, undeterred by daunting odds, lack of recognition and resources, or short-term success, and his good-humored visionary work for a nuclear-free world.
I don't know, I'm not sure if I fulfilled the Humbler criteria. I'm honored and embarrassed, and somewhat tongue-tied and all that. But my God, sharing the bill and part of the lead like Mark. Oh my, what a room full of renowned names I think I have met or known over 45 years. I'm a solo practitioner in Toledo, and I well remember making a decision that sort of patterned some of my life after Sam Irvin. I was going to night law school and working my way through it on breaks and watch the Watergate hearings. And I remember one particularly momentous hearing where he had, I think, more or less eaten the face off of Alderman Ehrlichman, and he was being interviewed by Dan Rather, holding the microphone up, and it's the old Sam Irvin with his white hair and sort of, stooped demeanor. And Dan Rather's asking very, cogent questions, and how do you think it went, Senator, and this and that. And he said, well, it might be this. And finally, at the end, he said, well, Senator, what do you think is going to happen now? I mean, what will happen to the next administration? He said, I don't know, I'm just a little old country boy. So, thank all of you for being here for 30 years and more. I'm asking that when you return to the real world, places that you inhabit your daily lives, that you'll please remain open to the growing phenomenon of local democracy. I'm referring to the inherent power we possess collectively to say no. To say no, there will not be consenting communities to Holtec or WCS. I want you to exercise the inherent power that human beings have to say that corporations don't have all rights. We have to defy deadly transports of radioactive waste through our towns. More than ever, we have to be the authors of our fates. Whether we act or not, we are the authors of our fates. Abolitionist champion William Lloyd Garrison frustratedly said about 25 years before the Civil War, the war we're still fighting today. He said, the apathy of the people is enough to make statues leap from their pedestals and hasten the resurrection of the dead. And I'm here to tell you that I'm kind of leaning in the direction of thinking that Bill was an optimist. Grassroots democracy has only vestigially existed at different times in American history, and it has never permeated some layers of our society. We're not really very much a democracy. Our economic system rests on the myth that capitalist success is self-made. Local democracy is deemed the province of cranks, detractors, losers, obstructionists. We live in times of commodified apathy, where materialistic success substitutes for passion about whether or not we care about our world, even as the apathy divides and immobilizes us from acting on our collective behalves. This dead zone in our social discourse has been profitably exploited by corporations who have induced a lot of government misdirection. This is why we live now in a corporate state. Government has dutifully responded with ubiquitous illegal surveillance, with a regulatory scarecrow that has been gutted of its protective capacity, with criminalized free speech, with the eco-terrorism label for those of us who seek to preserve the commons and for the public to participate and have a place to participate in decisions that affect us all. Our tweeter monster-in-chief, who shall not be named, didn't come as a result of one election. It is the consummation of commodified apathy.
Well,
I'm a field lawyer for the Community Environmental Legal Defense Fund. Here's the acronym, CELDEF.org. CELDEF has revived an old idea. They organize people abused by energy and environmental travesties by helping them prepare and circulate initiative petitions for public votes against fracking, against disposal of radioactive fracking waste, and against radioactive gas mega pipelines, where I come from in Ohio. These campaigns always run afoul of the Chamber of Commerce and the American Legislative Exchange Council, ALEC. Corporations want to keep decision-making at the levels of government they've carefully taught. Rediscovering and using these forgotten tools of initiative and referendum and local organizing and local, no, by God, we don't consent votes. That is a form of civil disobedience. I guess that there's a lot more eco-terrorists than you think. So how about a local ban on hauling spent fuel through your town? How about giving your town the gift of criminal sanctions for transporting weapons or nuclear waste through it? How about legislating your county's denial of consent to a radioactive waste dump? How about legislating nature's right to exist, which is a concept that dates back to my days half a damn century ago in law school? But how about the rights of nature? We are all made guardians with a right to sue to protect that nature, that air, water, and soil, from exposure to all perils, but certainly to nuclear ones. These changes are not pie-in-the-sky thinking anymore. They are utterly essential to the survival of the planet. So, I haven't been to ANA's lobbying days before, and I greatly respect those of you who have the stomach and the patience and the incredible intensity of preparation and the passion to find yourself imploring a member of Congress or a staff person who's rather pointedly not very interested in hearing what you have to say. And so my response, as a prairie populist, as someone who believes ever more strongly by the day in monkey-wrenching things beginning at home, to hell with Congress, go home, empower people to take back control. Even if you don't have the time to lead a local democracy effort, embrace it as an ally, do not oppose it because it isn't regulatory. Because in the end, all we have is the noise we can make, really, to defeat the forces of commodified apathy. Call it the resurrection of the dead. Thank you.